Mhm. Anybody out there? Can you hear me now? Stupid. You can hear me? I rebooted my computer. Yay! Hallelujah. I had to reboot my computer. Apparently, YouTube is just doing everything it can to keep me from doing this, which makes me work all the harder to do it. How you doing, Jill? Oh, anyway, I was doing this because I don't like keeping journals. I hate keeping journals. I can't keep journals. Even when I was a kid, I tried. My ex and I were just talking about that the other day. You maybe get 2 or 3 days in, and it's like, I just can't do it. I'm not that disciplined for that, but I'm glad you can hear me. Now it scared everybody off because they figure it's all fake. So I'll change the title on this at some point. I want to do this carnivore thing. Today, I started 2 weeks ago in the morning, so it'll be 15 days ago. Yeah, it is the best way to keep track, and also it helps other people too to get an idea of what it may help with them. I was flapping my jaws all that time with no sound, and I was going into too much detail anyway, so I'm glad it did that. Um, I was an abused kid, which blew out my adrenals. I thought it was my thyroid for decades. I thought it was my thyroid. I talked to 3 of the world's most preeminent thyroid doctors. Every one of them said after I told what was going on, it was my adrenals. Didn't want to believe them because I did 30 years of thyroid research. It wasn't my thyroid, it's my adrenals. What happens, the adrenals take out your thyroid, which I didn't know or understand at the time, but it makes sense now. Severe stress and prolonged stress cause this. Um, I've had health problems all my life. When I started looking into it years ago before the internet, it was typical classic hypothyroid symptoms. I had it all. I didn't have a goiter, surprisingly, but I had everything else. And I found out later there were over 2,000 symptoms that tie into carpal tunnel, chronic fatigue, fibromyalgia, migraines, there's all kinds of things that tie into it. And sadly, doctors aren't taught anymore anything about adrenals. That's weird. Oh, it's a fan on the table. I can feel a vibration in my elbow. What is that? It's a fan. Anyway, I doing that, I knew it was my thyroid. I just knew it because I had the symptoms and they all lined up. But super low temperature. My temperature was so low. I had a surgeon when he had me do a temperature test because the old doctors, before they came up with a money making scheme to do blood tests that don't tell you how your thyroid, if your cells are using the thyroid, but you might have thyroid hormone in your system, but they have no way of telling other than clinical symptoms if you are using it or not. I'm not. I haven't been using it. What happens when you have really bad adrenals? You get the cortisol issues and all that, but what happens is the adrenals will shut down your cells to let. There's a little like a receptor, and it's for hormones. All different kinds of hormones go into your cells, and it stops the majority of these things from going in full blast. So you'll have uh, sex hormone problems. You have all kinds of problems from this because it'll shut down everything but the absolute necessary amount to live. And it's a life saving function because otherwise it would overwhelm your body. So it naturally shuts all that down. So you get very little reactions from these hormones because you're not absorbing them. They're all over your body, but they're not working because the cells won't eat them, won't take them. So that was my situation and a lot of other people's situations. Stress is the number one problem for adrenals. Um, It'll blow them out, especially chronic prolonged stress. Being an abused kid, I was fight or flight from the get-go. I mean, just yeah, I had no time in my day when I was safe, sleeping, waking. If unless I was away from the house, I was not safe from being had the crap beat out of me. So consequently, I'd be like, yeah, I was like this. If a cat walked across the grass and I had my window open in the summertime, it would wake me up. I would hear it. I was like hyper aware. I could hear the grass swish. I had really good ears back then, and I could hear it, and it would wake me up. Any little noise, it would wake me up, and I'd process, okay, what is that? Is that creak in the house? Is somebody coming in the door? Really fast, and I would know, okay, I can go back to sleep. Um, anyway, that never left me. I was wound. My spring was wound tight all my life. I was type A to begin with. I liked getting out. I had energy, but I didn't have strength. I had excess energy to blow off, and it might have been anger things because I had anger problems for sure. Had anger problems, which is natural, you would, I guess. Um, anyway, stress. Then my dad was murdered, and the whole thing trying to keep him alive, and it turns out he ends up getting murdered. It was health problems for a couple of years. It just drove me and my mom crazy. And his personality changes and all this other garbage from the side effects from the drug they had him on, fighting with the doctor who lied through his teeth, all that stuff added up. My dad gets murdered. And then my mom freaking out because of financial issues because of that, because they locked down all of the accounts. And she had to hire an attorney because of crap that happened with my dad that somebody he told one of the things with my dad's medicine, he lied. He lied a lot when he was on it. He had dementia type stuff, caused a huge problem for my mom. So she's all stressed out. And then she gets murdered 2 years later. And I'm like, holy cow. Then we had the executor from hell. So I had 6 or 8 years of nothing but stress. And I was so stressed out by this executor that I was traumatized that I couldn't answer. I wouldn't go to my email. I wouldn't walk to the mailbox because every time I saw something from her, it would trigger me and I just have freak out because I couldn't handle it. My cortisol levels were here and I couldn't take any more stress. And I was gaining weight. I was blowing up like a balloon. I didn't know why. Um, my eating habits hadn't changed. So I think I put on probably 100 pounds. I was big. I was big. And I didn't realize how big I was until I saw pictures of myself. I mean, I knew my clothes, but I never look in the mirror. I've never been a person to look in the mirror. I brush my teeth at night and wash my face. And then in the morning, I'll wash my face, brush my teeth. I'm out. I'm done. I don't look in the mirror the rest of the day. So if I got a booger, I'm not going to know until somebody tells me. But no, I was I didn't see how heavy I'd got. But it makes sense. And I didn't have the energy. I just couldn't do things. Well, I thought, I know my mom was still alive when I went on keto. And she died in 2018. So probably around early, I think it was early 2017 that I went on keto. No, 2016. When my dad must have still been alive too, because he died in 18. I talked to Dr. Berg to his office, and there was a thing. It was $200, and they would work with you for a year, and blah 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 blah. So I went on keto, went very strict keto. I'm one of those all or nothing people. If I'm going to do something, I'm not going to cheat. Why cheat? It's stupid to cheat. You're only cheating yourself. And that just to me never made sense. Anyway, I'm going to do keto because I've been looking about it, reading up on it and everything. I got to do this, see what happens because I had done some food things where you take certain things out of your diet, and I noticed a big difference. Like I did sugar, which I didn't really eat a lot of until I started getting stressed out. I never used to really eat a lot of sugar, but once I did that, once I got stressed, I did. Um, and then wheat. And I noticed 3 days, it was 3 days each, and I noticed a big difference. So I knew that keto was on the right track. So I started looking into that. I knew I was low on minerals because when you go through stress, you're low and it eats up your potassium, your vitamin D, your selenium, your zinc, your vitamin C. It eats up all this stuff. And when you no longer have those things in your system, you start getting white hairs. Well, what happened to me, I wasn't really getting the white hair yet, but I did get this really weird thing on my shoulder right here. It looked like somebody took a belt and cracked me over the shoulder with it. It was a long, like a 2-inch wide strip, perfectly sharp edges with little white spots in the middle where my skin did not get affected. It looked like a belt hit me. And I showed my mom, I said, this is the weirdest thing. And she goes, what is it? And I said, I don't know. It just showed up. And so it would go away and come back. It did that over a couple of months. I started my keto. I did keto thinking, oh yeah, this is going to be the answer. This is going to, whatever. I did feel a little bit better. So I thought, it's okay, but I wasn't losing any weight and I really needed to lose weight because I saw how fat I'd never been that fat in my life. I'm like, what is going on? So I was desperate to lose the weight. 4 months go by and I talked to Dr. Berg. That I had a really bad person assigned to me because it wasn't Dr. Berg personally working with me. She would just relay information. I only talked to her 2 or 3 times and I got really mad because I was getting for $200. I got nothing from that. And he was just starting that out. So he didn't know, and she wasn't going to tell him that she wasn't doing her job. Anyway, I got her to talk to him once towards the end, and I got really mad at him because it was 4 months in and I wasn't losing weight. None. I didn't lose a pound, and I was pissed because I was hardcore keto. But I felt better, right? Wasn't putting it together. And he said, she relayed the message to him, and he said, well, you just eat salad then. It's like, I'd done that before. My God, that's a normal diet. Why would hell would I do that? And I got really ticked off at him. I think he just didn't know. He couldn't figure out what, maybe he thought I was cheating. Who knows what they thought. But anyway, he told me to do that and I got really pissed off at him. And I thought, okay, I'm done. And I never went back. I left the other 8 months to just let him fry whatever they were going to do. I don't know if they're still doing that or not, but if he is, I hope he vets his people better because I was not happy. And he's a good guy. I mean, he does really good work. His research is beautiful. He does great research. Very good with information, but I was not happy with that. So I get off keto and I'm going along for about 4 or 5, maybe 6 months. And I thought, man, I feel like crap. I got to do, I thought, you know what? I'm going to go back on keto because I just felt so much better. And so I went back on keto. In the meantime, my mom had died. The executor tore into things, was destroying our family. And it was around the first of the year. I think I was on it for like maybe not even a week. And I got a letter from her in the mail. My ex brought it over. And it's like, wow, this is weird. I'm not stressing out. I'm not freaking out. I'm not afraid to open it. What's going on there? So I realized immediately the food I was eating was a stressor on my body that was really tough. That's why I tell people, if you're stressing out, look at your food, because that when I changed, all I did was took sugar and basically starches out of my diet. And I was suddenly able to handle stress. And I'm like, what the heck there? That's pretty interesting. And I wasn't eating all that bad, really. Most of my day I was eating really well. But I think really well. Um, but the keto thing helped immensely. And I stayed on it. And I did a show with Seasoned Pixels, a couple of them. And here on my tongue. And I saw the picture of myself. They did a still shot whenever they do the archives. They have a still shot. And I looked at myself and went, wow, I look different. Like I said, I don't look in the mirror. When I'm looking in the mirror, I'm not looking at the reflection. I just don't. Brush my hair. I'm just, okay, I'm alive. I'm standing. I'm good to go. Face is clean. I look, okay, I'm out of here. So I saw this picture of myself and I thought, wow, that looks different. And you remember C's? Yeah, he's nice kid. Anyway, I realized, well, there's something going on. So I knew my face was changing a little bit, but I also noticed that my clothes weren't fitting right. And it was making me really mad. I was having to pull my pants up all the time and things weren't fitting right. And I was getting really PO'd because it never occurred to me that I was losing weight because I didn't think I could. Because after being on it for 4 months of the time before, well, it'd been past 4 months. I think it was around 5 months. I'd been on the keto the second time. And finally, I realized that the thick head here that I actually had lost weight and I'd lost a lot of weight and I didn't know it. That's how unaware I am about myself personally. Yeah, and that's all a beneficiary of severe stress and other things going on. So anyway, I'd lost the weight and I was like, awesome. This is cool. So I stayed on keto for a long time. And every once in a while I do a cheat. Like I just like at Christmas time, it's like I want an orange. I love oranges. So I'll go off a day or two. But I never went off of keto ever. I never really went off keto. I was still doing keto, but I would add something I wasn't supposed to have, like an orange, right? But I was still doing keto. Um, I'd have my orange, one or two oranges, maybe some eggnog, and call it good. And I noticed I'd be wanting to eat other things I shouldn't be eating for like a week. So every once in a while I'd indulge, and I shouldn't have, because I noticed as time went on, and I did use a carb counter at first, which was really helpful. I noticed if I went back on it 6 months later, I had edged up in what I was eating. So I had in my carbs, so I'd have to cut back. But I did notice sometimes I would go completely carnivore and not even mean to. And I knew about carnivore, but I thought that's too extreme. I can't do that. It's just, oh, I can't imagine just eating meat all day. Ugh. So I didn't do it. But I did keep an eye on the carbs. And generally, I was pretty low. But I start cheating and the weight would start creeping back up. And I didn't realize it. And then as stress would come along, excuse me, cough once in, come on. As stress would come along, I wasn't handling it well because I was having more, because I started craving. I would want to crave, I was craving things, and I'd go to the clearance place for in the back in Walmart back by the dairy, and I didn't drink milk. I cut all that stuff out. I wasn't drinking that, but I would go back and I'd buy a cupcake or something or a small pie and just eat the guts out. I just ate what I wanted off of it because I don't like cake. I like the frosting. I don't like the cake, so I'd eat the frosting, which I can make. I could have made a keto frosting. I don't know why I didn't, but I didn't. So I would binge on that for a day or two and throw it all away. And but I was gaining weight because of the carbs. I'm super sensitive to carbs. I mean, I'd have made a good cow because you feed me grain for 2 weeks, I'm this big around. And I'm just one of those people that carbs are really I'm really sensitive to them. That's the stress. That's all that stress stuff. So anyway, I'm going along with the keto and cheating here and cheating there. It's like just once a month maybe, but it was enough. Just 1 or 2 days a month. And I was blowing up. And hi, Humi. Excuse me, Marcia. Oh, excuse me. But I never really got sick in those. I mean, I would get sick from stress. Like if I'd go to town, uh, like to Spokane, I'd come home and I'd be sick for 2 or 3 days. I mean, just like exhausted. I want to lay down and go to sleep. I get a headache. I just feel like crap. But it was a stress from just driving down, driving around, getting everything done, and rushing back home because I usually, I have a show to do. So sometimes oh, and also Bible study in the afternoon. I started doing the Bible studies recently too, about a year and a half, almost a year and a half ago, guys. Anyway, I realize I'm not doing stress well. And it's so much, I'm so used to stress that when I get stress, I don't even know I have it. It's like that's stressful. I guess it is. I'm thinking on it. Yeah, anybody else would be like, but I'm so used to it. Stress monkey. I used to call myself a stress monkey, and that's quite literally what I am. Um, you're not in the mood for dishes? They'll wait. They'll always be there. But anyway, yeah. So I noticed these different things going on. Gaining weight again. I looked. As a matter of fact, I didn't realize how really fat I was this time. I'm It cracks me up kind of. Um, I went to I talked to Bill, my ex Bill, uh 2.5 months ago maybe. And I had talked to him about once every 2 months. He'd call me. He goes to Alaska a lot and he was working a lot. So he'd give me a call now and then. And he's told me he was doing carnivore. And I'm like, "Oh, what? Of all the people to do carnivore, I never would have thought he would have. Blew my mind, but it turns out his son, I asked him this last time I talked to him, said, "Is Lance doing it?" He goes, his son's a special forces guy, and he's like bodybuilder. Oh man, he's a model for all kinds of sporting goods places and stuff. He's a good looking kid. Anyway, Lance is doing it. So I think Lance kind of either talked to him about it or Bill asked him about it because Bill gets on TikTok and he pops around a lot. But anyway, he's doing carnivore. And he'd been doing it for a month. I said, "Have you lost any weight?" He goes, "No." He says, "Nope, not at all." He says, "But I feel better." He says, "I do feel better." That's good. That's good. And let's see if I'm okay. So anyway, he was talking about his carnivore, and I thought, boy, that's got to be hard. I don't know if I could do it. I was like listening to him. I was like, yeah, but he's a guy. He loves meat. He loves cheese. He loves eggs. He loves all that stuff. He used to have that for breakfast every day. So I'm like, eh. Anyway, I thought about that. Well, I don't know if I can't even handle keto. How am I going to handle carnivore? So I talked to him again the next month, and he'd lost 30 pounds. And he's a guy. Guys lose weight faster on carnivore. Anything, they always lose weight faster. Their metabolism's higher because of the muscle mass. And he was feeling really good, and he was talking about things he was doing, and well, that's good. And I talked to him, I think, a couple days before Easter, and he was doing really good. He was really enjoying it and had all these plans for hunting and working out. He started working out. And he said, I asked me if he'd lost any more weight. And he said, not really, but my pants, I'm still losing size. He's like, he was putting on muscle and losing fat. Excuse me. And he was super strict with it at first. Then he started doing cheese and he started losing weight. The more fat he started losing weight. So he might have been too low fat. So we we're talking about it. And uh, what happened the day before Easter? I can't remember what happened. Oh, I went to Spokane the day before Easter, which was about the dumbest thing I could have done because it was a madhouse. Super stressful. People everywhere. I couldn't concentrate. I'm easily distracted now. I never used to be like that. So I get home. I'm like, oh, geez, I'm exhausted. Um, Easter morning. Oh, Jill. I talked to Jill. When did I talk to you first? You're telling me I hadn't seen Jill for a long time. She says, I'm doing carnivore. It's like, wow, really? You are? Because I didn't know any women that were doing it. And she said, yeah, she goes, I've been doing it 17 months and I feel great, man. I feel great. And she was telling me all these great things that happened with her with that. But it started out really bad. I mean, she had a bad experience with medication, but she got off all her medication and almost killed her. But she naturally became carnivore. Her body needed to heal, and that's what she wanted to eat. That's it in a nutshell. Sorry, Jill. That's it in a nutshell. But that is that's how she got started. And I told her I've been doing keto, and she was telling me all about this about healing humanity and documentary she was going to be in and all these other things. It was pretty interesting because I told her I'd played around with the idea of doing never seriously, but just kind of like, hey, I should do carnivore. It's kind of like, hey, I should go wash my dishes, kind of like that. But I was thinking about it, but not seriously. And I talked to Jill. I was like, oh, and she says, oh, you got to do it, you got to do it. And she was like really pep with the pep talk. And I told her I might. She's kind of getting me like I'm so easily malleable. She's like, yeah, you got to do it. You got to do it. It's really awesome. You'll really like it. And it's like, oh, I don't know if I'll like that. And I told her honestly, my main concerns were number one, because I knew it would be good for me. Once I realized that Eskimos have always lived on meat and no vegetables or fruit, I knew it wasn't going to kill me. Because at first, when I first thought about it, I was like, oh, I need fiber, I need vegetables. And I thought, no, logically, no, that's not true because the Eskimos have lived for who knows how many thousands of years just on whale blubber and seals. So I knew that was that was a fallacy. So I thought, yeah, but my concern was getting bored with it, getting really bored with it because I like variety, a lot of variety. And then, excuse me, the other thing, I can't remember what it was right offhand. But anyway, I was concerned about that. And so I didn't want to commit. But I woke up Sunday morning, Easter morning, I thought, man, I'm going to do carnivore. I don't know why, but I thought now I can tell Jill I'm going to, and once I say it, I'm committed, right? In my head, I'm already committed. So I'll just do it. I'll do it for 3 months. Like she said, just try it for 3 months and see what happens. And having been keto, I was leaning carnivore anyway. I'd kind of quit out eating vegetables. I quit eating the things it was almost a chore to eat them. I just ate them because I needed something in my stomach. I always had some kind of protein, like some kind of meat, or sometimes I just have a couple of boiled eggs and maybe, or make an egg salad and wrap it up in lettuce or something. But that was more just something to get my belly full. But I wasn't eating any. I'd buy celery and I would buy uh, cauliflower and I'd buy broccoli and it would sit in my fridge and just molder away. And I'd be eating hot dogs or some kind of meat. I was always eating, and I thought, I didn't realize how bad it was until I got on carnivore and started thinking, I don't really eat much off a carnivore anyway. And I was bored with eating. I'm lazy. But I was really stressed out. So what happened on Easter? Of course, I'm wiped out from Spokane for the next 2 days. I'm wiped out, and I wake up Tuesday morning and I've got a sore throat on one side, and it was really bad. Thought it was strep throat. It was right back by my tonsil. And the next day it was over here and then down my. I was sick. Today it's been 2 weeks since Easter. Excuse me, and it's the first day I've actually felt normal again, except for my cough. Now I'm thinking about it, I'm going to cough. Um, I've been very sick for the last 2 weeks. So I was researching carnivore after I started it, after I started doing it. And oh, you're not in it? I thought you were. You will be. They'll make a second one and you'll be in it. Um, so the start of the carnivore, I knew what it was. It's pretty simple. It's easy to do. It's beef, butter, bacon, eggs. I do cream. I do more than beef. I do a little bit of pork. Bacon's pork, so I do a little bit. Let's see, I'll do what do I do? Fish. I did some fish. I bought some sardines. I used to eat them when I was a kid, but I haven't had the guts to open them yet. I'll be doing some sardines. I'll be breaking those in too. But I started looking up recipes, and Jill gave me a good guy, Chris Cooking Nashville, I think. He was pretty interesting looking, but there's always recipes out there, right? And I haven't had the time to really do anything. I did make some I was making something else, but it turned into flatbed bread, and it actually turned out really good. So there are things you can do. It's not just plain old whatever. So I know I might not get um, bored with it, but I did find out because I'm female, I probably need more fat in my diet. So I thought, okay, because I've been watching all these videos, I'm kind of binging on them. Kelly Hogan and Lisa, I can't think of her last name. You sent me a link to a video today. You sent me a picture of her from the thing you were at with there, and I talked watching Dr. Berg, Dr. Barry. I share these things. I've always shared those guys because they have such great information. But I just kind of was researching that stuff and thought, okay, I think I can do this. But I did find out that I wasn't eating enough. Oh, her name's Lisa Pickard. Okay. I don't know if I've ever heard her last name. I just see Lisa. I just play her, the lady with the long hair. Um, so I talked to my boyfriend yesterday. I just wanted to bring this up. Oh, let me tell you some of the effects I got. The third or fourth day, I think it was Tuesday day before I got sick. No, the day I got sick, I was noticing that I felt like I was losing weight, but I wasn't. I felt like I could feel energy, like especially here on my sides, I was feeling energy in my cells. And I can feel sometimes stuff like that. I thought, well, that's weird. Things must be working. And I was just from cutting out a few foods that I've been eating. I was binging, kind of, not really binging, but I'd sit here at night doing my show and I'd eat these, they're keto, they're like chocolate chips, but they're vanilla. They're stevia and cocoa butter, basically. And I'd sit here and pop those. And I had some kind of keto cereal. And I knew the keto cereal probably wasn't a good idea, but I was still eating it. And I would sit here and eat that with the thing just for a snack at night. And I think I put a lot of weight on from that. But when I quit doing that, that was mainly the main thing I was eating that was really a staple in my diet, which was really bad. And I knew it. If I quit doing that, I noticed that I was getting sensations. I was so fat when I was walking up the stairs, my fat old belly, I could feel it on the tops of my thighs. I just noticed, and all this fat came on really fast. I got to tell you, I noticed the fat coming on about a month ago, and it just went whoop. It was like, wow. It came on really fast. I noticed that probably two weeks before I started carnivore that I could feel my gut on the tops of my legs when I went up the stairs. I thought, you got to do something. That's obscene. Stop. So I knew something had to be done. Anyway, I noticed that. And I think Wednesday or Thursday. And meanwhile, I'm very sick, whopping sick. Oh my gosh, really bad. Probably one of the worst headaches I ever had, really my cheekbones. But I was noticing physically, I was able to walk around. I think it was the first week, Friday. Maybe it was Saturday, a week into it. Usually, when you get really bad adrenals, your adrenals will get your body to start eating up protein in your body if you're not getting enough protein. And apparently I wasn't, because it'll start eating your butt and your thigh muscles, because those are the biggest muscle groups, and it'll go after that. And so they'll start getting smaller, and you'll see a lot of older women that have a big waist and little tiny legs. Well, they probably have this. Anybody that's really fat, I look at them and I'm either they're on medicine or they are super stressed. Now I know that. Anyway, I was for the last, I don't know, 4 years. When I got up, I had to use my arms to push myself up. And my arms are the weakest muscles in my body. And I was using them to get up. if I got on the floor, I would have to turn just right and find something that I could push myself to get some leverage to push myself up off the floor because my legs were not strong enough. And I knew what it was because I'd researched that years ago and I knew what it was. My dad was the same way. So I knew that there was some problems with the adrenals. And what was I was going somewhere with that. Can't remember. Oh, yes, because I'm looking right where I was at. I was sitting on the couch, and usually I'd have to push myself up. The other day, I thought, and I went to stand up, and I went to use my hands. I realized, no, I can stand up. I'm able to stand up. And I thought, well, that's interesting. It wasn't super easy, but I could do it. And before I couldn't do it at all. So I think, wow. So I knew that it was helping with stress. The cutting all that food out was and it was basically vegetables. I was eating good. I mean, like I said, once a month I might have jalapeno poppers from Walmart, which are mostly cheese and peppers, but the peppers were enough were causing inflammation and stuff, which I didn't realize. Any kind of vegetable. And I'll tell you why I think that, when they say it's a proper human diet, I don't agree with that because the Bible says that God gave us herbs of the field to eat. He gave us that to eat. That's our food, right? Plus meat. So, but my take on it is so toxic from all the crap they spray on it, all the genetic engineering, all of the other garbage that and we don't even know all of what they're putting on it, what we're eating. Excuse me. They said that they were going to start spraying or start introducing mRNA into the lettuce. And supposedly they did that in California. And I'm one of those people. I've been sick so long. I'm super sensitive to it. And I know other people are too, but when they feel the sensitivity, they go to their doctor. The doctor gives them a pill. And then they come up with side effects, and the doctor gives them a pill for the side effects. The next thing you know, it's a cascading failure of health issues that goes. And my mom raised us to not go to doctors. And that's one thing I got to say. It was probably worth getting the crap beat out of me just to know that, to stay away from doctors, because it saved my life several times. Anyway, so the deal I know is standing up, being able to stand up. I didn't have to push myself, so I can stand up off this chair. And that was a week ago. I was able to do that. I've been on it 2 weeks, right? And something I didn't cut out is stevia. And that I hadn't eaten sugar or grain for a long time, years really. I mean, as a staple, I'd have it once in a great while, like once a month, maybe every 2 months when I was binging. But I think that helped me transition over to carnivore really easy. It wasn't it To me, it was nothing. Third day, I didn't want sugar. And I was like, well, that's cool. I'm watching cake videos on YouTube, and it's like that didn't make me want a cake. None of that did. The food I used to like, it's like, I'm not really wanting that. It's kind of interesting. And all I'm eating is meat. You'd think I'd want it. I do still use a little bit of stevia. I'm actually weaning way off of that because this thing here, I drink a lot of these Zevia. I've been drinking these for a long time. It's stevia sweetened. It's fake soda pop, basically. It's clear, but this is a vanilla cola. And I just noticed this one when I started drinking it, how sweet it is. It's like, oh, it's almost too sweet to drink. I might still drink those. Don't know. Just cut them with some soda water, which is what I used to do with my Bang energy drinks. So anyway, main thing for this is I want people to know what my results were in 2 weeks. The things I've noticed. I feel like I'm thin. It's the weirdest sensation. I feel thin. I do have lipedema. Let's see if I can see it. Yeah, you can see my arm. You can kind of see it. There's usually right here. There's a defined line where it comes down. I've got normal size, and all of a sudden I've got this, and this is all. If you can kind of see, I've got cellulite here on my arms, lower arms, upper arms, of course, and of course no tone or anything, so I don't do anything. I'm in probably the worst shape of my life, but no, I've got cellulite on my lower arms. I remember seeing Dr. Berg just like a week ago saying, you don't get cellulite on your arms, on your lower arms. I was like, yeah, you do, because I have it. Excuse me, but I tend to break all their molds with my stupid health problems, but I've had them for a long time. So, excuse me. Yeah, I've noticed that this is too sweet now. I opened it up when I sat down. I've drank a quarter of it. Well, usually I can sip on them and throw them in the fridge anyway. But I've noticed today the thought, and yesterday, the thought of eating something sweet, and it just happened like quick, like within the last 2 or 3 days, it gags me. If I like to eat cake or something, it's almost gagging. The thought of it gags me. Now, I may be farther along than most people would be if they just quit everything and started doing carnivore because of my keto thing where I wasn't eating actual sugar. I've been using allulose. I haven't had any allulose since I started. Have I? I might have. Ooh, I might have accidentally had allulose. But I haven't done any sweet stuff. But I did make yogurt. It's not technically not yogurt. The L-Reuteri, which I do stick with. Like for my because I needed when I went on this, I knew I had to fix my digestion because I was having really bad. I don't have any stomach acid. I ran out of stomach acid, and that's part of the stress. I didn't have enough salt. I didn't have enough. There's certain things that build stomach acid, and that was part of that. So I didn't have any of that. And oh, when I got sick, the day I got sick with the sore throat, I suddenly got severe acid reflux. It was weird. It came with the sickness. So I think it was a bacteria that got me. And it's communicable because people around here have it. It's not just me. So my sister thought it was from going on carnivores. I knew it wasn't because I'd already been practically carnivore anyway. Um, but I noticed that the acid reflux, I had a bacteria that was killing my stomach acid, and I'd been building it up with the L-Reuteri and the L-Gassari, and I had to take apple cider vinegar and water sometimes 2 or 3 times a day just to keep that down to because I'd lay down in bed and the reflux would come up my throat and I couldn't sleep. The first night I didn't sleep at all because I even elevated, I couldn't, it was just like coming up my throat. And it was bad. So I kept taking the apple cider vinegar and it did help. Oddly enough, it just cut it really well. And it helped a lot. So anyway, I was sick the whole time I've had this. For 2 weeks I've been sick, which this is, I almost never get sick like this. Last time was probably 20 years ago. So whatever it was hit me hard, even though I was doing the carnivore, which may or may not have helped. I don't know. But I know that it was a bugger of a thing. So I noticed, what else did I notice? This morning I got, oh, something else, getting out of bed for the last 4 days. I get a little bit like I'd roll over, my back would be a little bit sore because I'd sleep in the same spot all the time, and but I'd get out of bed, and I used to, when I put my clothes on, I'd have to hold on to something to get my leg into my pants because there's a problem. I need to get my back work done. But I noticed I wasn't as stiff. I'm not as stiff as I was. I'm not as sore as I was. Um, and it's getting better all the time. Going up and down the stairs, I feel like my legs are stronger, which means again that my adrenals are in remission, so to speak. They're calming down, kind of like I did with keto. I noticed that the stress issue was really toned down by what I was eating. So, oh yeah, I can tell you that, Jill K. I figured that there was a guy that was talking about. He said he'd been into carnivore for 2 years. I think at the 2-year point, he had a cookie. He took a big bite of a cookie. He said, "I love chocolate chip cookies," or whatever it was, and he took a big bite of it, and he said, he started chewing it. It's like, oh, geez, he spit it out. It didn't taste the same. Well, it's the same with keto. Your taste buds change when you quit eating sugar and quit eating grains. Your taste buds change, or you don't really like things with sugar in them are so sickly sweet. And I think you can taste the chemicals. I think the longer you go without eating certain things, that's why he didn't eat that, because he could taste the chemicals in it. And I think that's what it is, because it's the chemicals on the plants that are in the fruits, I think, that are making everybody so sick. Because that never used to be like that. Nobody had to be carnivore back in the day because they could eat fruits and vegetables and live perfectly well, nice, thin. They get their energy from things, but the stuff they're putting in our food is done purposely to kill us, make us sick. It makes the medical community a ton of money. But yeah, that's let me see if I wrote some quick notes down, see if I forgot anything. Yeah, well, okay, I think I've got most of it. But I do feel overall, I do feel better. And now that I'm well, I'm anxious to see if I get some energy back because I was getting really low energy. I mean, I think about doing things. I was like, oh, I'll do it tomorrow. I don't want to do it. I was just tired. And that might have been because I was coming down with being sick. I don't know. But hey, free spirit. Actually, apple cider is better, free spirit. If I ate an apple a day, I would be this big. Literally be this big. If I eat one piece of bread, normal bread, white bread a day, I would be 500 pounds, just one piece. That's how sensitive I am to stupid carbs. But that's the stress. That's all from stress stuff. Now I gotta catch up. Buy a can of frosting. I would eat frosting. I can make keto frosting with stevia and butter. When we were kids in school, they used to take little graham crackers and mix up butter with a little bit of vanilla and a drop of food coloring and some sugar, mix it all up and put it as a frosting on a graham cracker. But I can make that. If I want frosting, I can do that. I don't want sugar. I'm the last couple of days, I just don't want anything sweet. Yesterday I had my lemon and water and I didn't put any stevia in it because it didn't sound good. So I'm losing that. I never was addicted to sugar, which is a good thing. Let's see. Who was out there? Who is out there? I gotta see and catch up with the. Oh, I even missing your favorite chat. Uh, yeah, hit the like button so people can see this because I'm not the only one that's going through this stuff. There's a lot of mystery diseases out there that people don't know what it is. A lot of it's caused by medicine. A lot of it. The side effects. Every medicine has a side effect. I just watched twice today. I've watched Mimi. I can't remember her last name now. Mimi K talking about her journey with being she was a type A personality. She was go go go, hiking, biking, doing all this stuff, and then she became a vegetarian. I think a lot of vegetarians become carnivore. I was kind of surprised at all my watching videos for the last several weeks, as a lot of them were former vegetarians. So there are people that were concerned with their health. Uh, I look like I remember you saying that a long time ago. I look like Valerie Burton. I'm the heavy Valerie. See my cheeks? That's all. That's frosting and that's jalapeno poppers. But I'll lose this. My dad had this too. My dad and I both put weight on in our face really fast. I want to look as bad as possible right now because I want to do a transition as I go through and I want to show people before and after because that's what really, when I got on keto, that's what really convinced me to do keto, was seeing the thing I noticed the most about people that did keto and stuck with it and lost the weight is you think fat people look, because their wrinkles are all smoothed out, that they look younger? No. When they lost their weight, they literally looked like their own children. They looked that young. They'd lost like 20 years. And I found that quite interesting. All of them did that. They all got younger looking as they got off the garbage. And I think it's probably going to be even better with the carnivore. I'm anxious to see that. Yes, I heard him say something about that. Mimi's awesome. I really like her. Uh, she had an she had a story. It's like, if you trust your doctor, go watch that video. Sad thing is, I think to some degree, if you still trust your doctors, a little bit, because she was on every kind of drug you could think of. That poor woman, and I think most of her illness was from the medicine she took. Like I said, a cascading failure. Yeah, she's a nice lady. It looks like. Oh, is she a great cook? Yeah. Okay, I was going to tell you yesterday. I think it was yesterday. Oh yeah, Sam. I got my belly is going down. It's going down a little bit, tiny bit. I can't see a lot, just a little bit. Maybe I've lost a teeny tiny little bit. It's only been 2 weeks. Thing I noticed about keto, and it's probably the same as carnivore, the longer you're on it, the faster you lose the weight. It was like that with keto. It's like you get past the healing. Like Jill says, your body's healing inside, and it's until it's that. For me, the first time I was on keto, 4 months wasn't long enough to heal. I've been sick a long time though. I just didn't understand what was going on. But I think with this, I think once I start losing, I will probably go really pretty quickly. I'm looking forward to that because I'd like to be wearing t-shirts for summer. I haven't worn a t-shirt. Um, not like a normal girl t-shirt with a short or a tank top for probably 20 years. I just, yeah, crazy things. My body looked like an 80-year-old woman's body. You see some of these 80-year-old ladies and they've got that like like really bad cellulite on the upper arms. It's just loose and flabby. I've been like that since I was 42 years old. I remember looking at myself thinking, man, I look like I'm in my 80s. That's just crazy. What is going on? I couldn't fix it. I could not fix it. I didn't know how to fix it. I tried everything, lots of research, thousands and thousands of hours of research. And keto helped a lot of it. But I think carnivore is going to, because I know it only went so far. And I think carnivore is probably the part I'm going to have to do um, to push myself over that edge, because I cannot eat vegetables and fruits like normal people. Like I said, Bible, God gave it to us. God gave it to us for food. I can't eat it. Our food is so toxic. Well, it's a satanic thing. Obviously, Satan's going to do that. And you can see it daily. I mean, to where we have to have a guy that goes in and tells food corporations not to put poison in our food. Yikes. I mean, that's how bad it is. Yeah, Ronald, there you are. Yeah, I had to, after 3 false starts, I had to reboot my computer, and I just put my mic on for some reason. It worked that time. So anyway, yeah, so that's what's going on with that. And my ex-boyfriend, I talked to him yesterday, I think, maybe it's 2 days ago. We're yakking away. He goes, he's all excited. And I'm like, what's up with you? He's acting so weird. He's not acting like himself. I think he feels better. Um, he says, yeah, he says, I've been thinking about doing this. He says, I've been thinking about, which is something I've been thinking about for a long time with keto. Didn't think about carnivore because I wasn't on carnivore long enough. He said, we need to do a cookbook. We need to do a cookbook. And I said, yeah. And he's talking and talking. And I said, I agree. Carnivore right now is where keto was probably 8 years ago, cutting edge. People are just starting, because when 8 years ago, there was barely any keto recipes or real good food or anything like that. It was just on the cutting edge. Now everybody's keto, right? So carnivore right now is for the people that aren't able to get everything done with keto. Go to carnivore. Carnivore is a lot easier, super, super easy to do. You know what you can't have and you know what you can. There's no iffy area there. It's pretty cut and dried, so it's really easy to do. The rules are clear. Um, excuse me, my pop is making me burp. So it's really easy. But yeah, I'm all about that, because I'll tell you. Remember, I told you, Jill, that my main fear was getting bored. Hey, Amy, a carnivore created in secret. A carnivore created in secret. So anyway, yeah, when I did keto, I was constantly making my own recipes. It's like I'd make the keto recipe, and it's like, I don't really like this part of it. I'm going to throw that out and put something else in. And so I was really good at tweaking. I've always been like that, tweaking recipes. And I told them, yep, I'm there. I can already tell you right now, I'm going to make a jerky recipe. Carnivore people need portable food, because for them, he said the one thing he didn't like about it, or not that he didn't like it, but he recognizes when you're carnivore, you have to cook every meal. There's no just sitting down and munching on something you yank out of the fridge. It has to be cooked. And I thought, yeah, well, not so much with the turkey, and everybody loves turkey. Hey, Cindy Joe, how are you doing? Good to see you. Yeah, so I think that's I got into ketosis, and my fat didn't burn because I was under stress. I actually got fatter. Well, that's something I learned. That's something people need to know. And I think that people that have a really hard time with a long time getting into ketosis, or a long time getting into getting their body to heal, is because of the cortisol. You got to teach the adrenals to back off, and you need to learn how to be relaxed. I don't know how to relax, honestly. I've never been relaxed in my whole life. Eating the right food helped with the stress, because the food that everybody else eats, you go to a restaurant, 99% of what they're eating. I mean, if I eat sugar at 4 PM, I'd be up all night. My brain would be going, it'd just be racing, and it wouldn't shut down. I learned that sugar is an excitotoxin, and for me, I'm super sensitive to it, and I couldn't eat sugar. So I knew not to eat it late in the afternoon, because I would not be able to sleep. A lot of people don't recognize that. So, yeah, I think, yeah. Courtney Lund. Yes, Bill bought her book. Phil, he bought her book, and he said, yeah, there were certain things in there. He says he got out of there, he bought another book too. I can't remember. He said it was a like a brown paper, like a newsprint book that he got somewhere. But he got Courtney's at and I might buy that. I what I liked about it, he told me that excuse me, at the beginning, she talks about what you can eat, what you can't eat, which was good. You know, she lays out the rules first, and then she has pictures, and each picture has a number on it to take you to the page number of the recipe, which is smart. I like that idea. I'd probably do the same thing because pictures, I'm very visual. So if I see something and I think it looks good, I'll go look up the recipe and see what it is. As a matter of fact, I bought these at the dollar store when I was in town the other day. $1.25 for each one. They're all cookbooks. But you know what I do with them? I went through them. The only one I didn't buy was the lady that's drunk. She goes, the drunk cooking book. Yeah, no thanks. But I look at these and I'll pull something out like this. There are carnivore noodles you can make. Tuscan chicken pasta. So you can make carnivore noodles. You don't need to have all the goop in it. Like, the tomatoes and the spinach just get in the way. They get in your teeth and so it's got bacon and chicken, Parmesan cheese, salt and pepper, and carnivore noodles. I can make that. Here's a creamy 3-cheese spaghetti. Doable with carnivore noodles. Right? So I'm looking at this. I just thumbed through this really quick to see what was in it. Most of these probably I can't use, but a bunch of them I can. So they're making carnivore French fries. They're making all kinds of stuff like that. So I can do that. Everything bagel dip. You could do that with if you can do dairy. Some people can't, but on carnivore, dairy is technically an animal product, so you can use it, except for milk. Milk has super high carbs. It's all sugar. Look for a pure sour cream or a pure cottage cheese. Just look for the carbs. Make sure it's a low carb count. You can make things like that I would do that after I lose a lot of weight, I think. And if you still like sweets, you could do stuff like that too. But anyway, these were all from the dollar store. And I always look at those when I was doing keto. I looked through all my cookbooks and made keto adaptations. It was really easy. Yeah, they make carnivore noodles. Courtney Luna, I think. Yeah, Courtney's book. Yeah, you need more content, and this is what I want to do. And I think I need to get on the ball with that. But the thing is, I told Bill, I said, in order to put it in a cookbook, we have to both test it and make sure it's good. And I want it to taste good to other people that aren't carnivore. Let them eat it and see what they think. The flatbread I made the other day, I gave a piece of it to my sisters. Here, try this. She goes, "What is it? What is it?" I said, just eat it. Shut up and eat it. And she ate it. It's like, I said, "What do you think?" And she just didn't say anything. But the next day I heard her telling somebody it was really good. So it was really good. I thought it was really good. But it's the only thing I've made so far with my Cuisinart. Oh, yeah, and it was easy to make stuff. It was actually Courtney's recipe for noodles, but I cooked it too long, so it became flatbread, and it was fine. It was flat, and I could roll it up and use it for a sandwich. As a matter of fact, I did. I cooked up some chicken thighs, and I shredded the meat, and I put meat inside of the flatbread thing. I didn't even season it because this chicken was already seasoned, and chowed down, and it was really good. Yeah, carnivore noodles. People are really creative when they can't have something. My sinuses are wind's blowing, so I think we've got pollen everywhere. I apologize for the snorting. But yeah, so I'm kind of I do want to get on that cookbook thing really quick, but I'm mainly doing this because I want to do it like a video diary of what I look like now, how I feel. Look, see the lines here on my eyes. See, I've got puffy spots here. You can see this line here. That's where I'm swelled up in my face. I don't think I have a lot of. I just saw something on my portal. What's that? But I've got all this gobbles down here. When I get fat, I get the jowls. See I don't want to look bad. I want to look really bad so I can compare this. This is what I really look like because I never look in the mirror. Oh, really? University of Riverside. That's right. It was Humi. You're right. I remember that. Trump's reopening Alcatraz to avoid judges. I knew he was talking about it. Cool, cool. Yeah, Courtney's book is $35. It's kind of expensive, but I'd like to buy it. He's already got it, but he has it like 200 miles away and I don't have access. So probably next time I go to Spokane, I'll pick one up if it's still at the store. Like I said, right now, not a lot of people doing carnivore. They're just starting to learn about it. And the more like that documentary that comes out, the more that comes out about it, the more people are going to the more people are going to be curious about it. And like it's when you're at the point where there's nothing to lose, you'll try anything. So, and if all it takes is just changing what you eat. Yeah, he didn't do cheese for the first 2 months. He started doing cheese a month ago. Oh, it was Haas. It's a crazy cat. Come on. He's got flower petals all over him. Oh, the wind's blowing all the flowers out of my trees. But anyway, yeah, so but yeah, you can see how puffy and my double chin and all that. Excuse me. Hopefully that'll go away very soon. But I never looked in the mirror, so I didn't know how bad I looked. Pardon for the burping. Got a lot of hot air in me today. So let's see. Yeah, Courtney. I like Courtney. She's cute. Yes. Yes. Come on. He wants me to brush him. He loves getting brushed. So I figure if I feel good. I really don't feel bad at all. I'm noticing I'm going right to sleep. That's one of the first things I noticed. Other than the first night I was sick, I go right to sleep and I sleep well. Um, and I'm dreaming at times. I'm having very normal dreams, which I've never had in my life. Even on keto, I didn't have normal dreams. I dream about things like I'm doing stuff and they're not nightmares. I had a dream about my missing kitty the other night, which I didn't like, but yeah, it was kind of weird. But no, I'm having dreams. Are you going to be on with Kath later? Hi, Liz. Actually, I figured it was you. Kath's not going to be on tonight. It's just going to be me. I'll probably play AWK if there's a new one out. Well, even if there's not, I don't know. I'll find some stuff. I haven't looked into what I'm going to play yet, but yeah, I'll be on. I've missed the last couple weekends, but I feel better. I do. I do. So I mean, having better sleep. I'm sleeping sound. If I wake up like this guy here, he'll come up and walk on me because he wants to either get comfortable and lay on my head. He loves to lay on my head and slap his paw across my face. It's like just lay there and like, oh, I can't breathe. That'll wake me up for a second, but I go right back to sleep. I'll wake up at 2 or 4 or whatever. I think there's somebody must start their car or something because I wake up at like 5 o'clock every morning and it's like, oh, it's 5 o'clock. Time to go back to sleep. See, I toss just and like I can go right back to sleep again. I'm not laying awake tossing and turning like I used to. Can't live without cheese. Yeah, the cheese, I didn't prevent myself from having that. I figured if after a month I don't start losing weight, I'll probably cut back and won't eat any cheese or any cream or anything like that, just see what happens. But I don't really like today I had like kind of an afternoon snack. What did I have for breakfast? What I had for breakfast, I took he's so funny. I took 2 eggs and I scrambled them and I put some Cavender's seasoning and probably 3 tablespoons of cream, mixed it up really good, poured it in the pan and soft scrambled them. I don't like dry eggs. I soft scrambled them, pulled them off the heat, took them out, then put some, I think 4 short strips of bacon in, probably would be probably 2.5. If I had 2.5 pieces of bacon, that was breakfast. And then for lunch or for a snack, I had a couple of pieces of Colby Jack, probably quarter-inch thick, and they were squared off. So it was probably 2 by 4 by a quarter-inch. 2 pieces of that and some pork rinds, some salt and vinegar pork rinds. That was my lunch. Oh, good, free spirit. Yeah, I'll be doing this probably maybe once a week. I'm not sure how many times. If I feel like yapping, I'll just get on and talk. If I find any new big things that happen, um, I'll come on. But I mainly did this for people it's for me to keep a running diary of what's going on with me with the because you forget a lot of things. When you start feeling good, you forget how bad you used to feel. But I have noticed some strength walking up down the stairs. My ankles aren't popping and hurting. I'm not having to drag my arm down the stairwell so I don't fall over because my balance was getting off. It feels like I've been exercising, and I wake up in the morning and I'm stretching. You know, when you're a kid, you used to stretch. You watch kids when they wake up in the morning, they'll stretch, and I'll stretch in the morning, and I can feel muscles. I mean, I'm not sore or anything, but I just want to stretch. That gets the oxygen into your system. Well, yeah, free spirit. Are you male or female? Because if you're female, you need more fat. Well, for me, I wasn't eating enough. I got this big not eating enough. That's true. I did. I'd have coffee with cream in the morning, and that would hold me till you guys probably heard me on air saying I ate around 1 or 2 this afternoon. And when I ate, I might have had a chicken thigh. That would be my lunch, breakfast lunch. And then for supper, I'd have maybe a green salad with an egg or two on it, a boiled egg, and maybe some bacon bits. And that was it. That was all I ate every day. And it was probably what, 500, 600 calories? But I just didn't feel like eating. Um, but I found out if you don't eat enough, if you don't eat enough calories, if you don't eat enough fat and protein, you're not going to lose weight on this. And I need to lose weight. Not everybody needs to lose weight, but I do. And the fat especially is good. And I think that's why my adrenals are healing faster because my fat intake, even though I'd had pretty high fat on keto, this is way more fat than I ate on keto. And I think that it's repairing my adrenals. Oh, you're female. Okay, yeah. If you're female, you need more fat in your diet. Um, what's her name? Kelly Hogan did a pretty good video on why women need more fat in their diet and more calories. She said she eats 2,300 calories a day, but she's pretty active. She's on a treadmill while she's working on her computer all day. I'm not like that. If I'm gonna I'm gonna go out and walk. I'm gonna go do some work outside. I don't think I have the balance for that anyway. But she eats a lot. She eats a lot. She's that big around. That girl, she said she weighed 141. She's 5'8", but she looks like she weighs 110. She's very thin, but she's very muscular too. I would like to get down. I don't want to be as thin as she is. She's way too thin. For what I like for myself, I wouldn't get that thin. She looks good in her clothes. She's healthy, obviously healthy, but she and her guests both talked about not eating enough calories. Because if you're not getting enough calories, your body's going to say, yeah, I'm not losing weight. I need this fat stuff as a backup. So yeah, that's my problem. Yes, I've watched some of her videos too, Jill, Elizabeth Bright. She has very short hair. Yeah, she's pretty good too. There's several women that are really good. I like Kelly Hogan. I liked Lisa. I liked Elizabeth Bright. I like Dr. Barry. Um, Dr. Berg has some good information. I like the guy that's Carrie. What's his name? No, the guy that does is doing the documentary. I like watching him. Trying to think who else is doing it. I know several people in chat are saying they're very interested in doing carnivore, which is a good thing. I think just to try it, just to clean your system out, if nothing else, for 3 months, just you're gonna feel so good. I already feel good. It's 2 weeks in, and I've been sick and I feel good. I've been very sick and I feel good, so that's a good thing. Yes, the French do eat a lot of fatty food. Well, Europe, they don't have the chemicals, and I mean, people that leave here and go to Italy and pig out on lasagna and all that, which I can't stand. I've just learned that it's just the hamburger and sauce I like. I don't like the noodles on it. Um, but they eat wheat. They don't restrict what they're eating, but they don't gain weight and they don't get sick. They come back here and start eating here again. They get sick right away. They immediately start getting sick, and it's the poison they put on all of our food. So yeah, people over in Europe, they can eat like the Bible says to eat. Can't do that here. And we're stuck here. So yeah. So anyway, that's the way it goes. So uh I'm not a jet setter yet. Someday I'm gonna kick Trump out of the Mar-a-Lago and move in. I love that place. Um Yeah, I watched a thing on Marjorie Merriweather Post last night, a biography on her. It was pretty good. I have a book on Mar-a-Lago, by the way, which isn't, I haven't read it yet. A carnivore created in secret. Uh-huh. Yeah, no E on the end of how. Hmm. Well, anyway, yeah, so that's what I'm doing here. I'm just doing this so I can keep track of it myself and remember back how. So what are my negatives I want to get rid of? So obviously the overweight. I don't feel like I'm overweight though. That's a weird thing. I feel like I'm thin. That's the creepy weird thing. I feel like I'm thin, but it might be because I have lipedema. Um, you see women that have the really big, weird arms of really weird shapes with the big legs, maybe a big thigh and a tiny calf, and it's kind of rumply looking. That's very likely lipedema. I know I lost a lot of it when I went on keto when I first lost a lot of weight. So we'll see what happens. Uh, I posted Homestead how and it put an E on the. Oh, I see what you're talking about. That's why Carrie. Oh, Carrie, that's his name, Carrie. Thank you. Yes, Amy, thank you. It's Carrie. Yes. Yeah, I watched him. His interviews are pretty good. I like watching, and I love documentary or not documentaries, but testimonials. That's what gets me going. That's what got me going on keto was looking at the testimonials before and after. Before and after, I went through all because it gives me incentive. It's like these people. Who was it I was watching that said they'd never been thin in their life? Oh, it was Kelly Hogan. She said she'd been overweight all her life. And when she went on carnivore, first time ever, she lost all that weight. I mean, she worked at it. She lifts weights and stuff now, but you don't have to. You can live on keto. You don't have to work out. As a matter of fact, I think it's actually kind of bad, especially if you have adrenal problems. You'll know adrenal. A lot of times you'll get a belly on you, and that's cortisol and estrogen, and hard to get rid of. That's why people have a hard time getting rid of it. Hormonal. Yeah, I think so. I think you're right, Free Spirit. It's the weirdest thing because for the last couple of days, I'm like, wow, that's weird. I feel like I look in the mirror and I'm shocked. It's like, why do I look like that? I don't feel like that. It's like I think also my energy, my cells are getting energy because I feel like I said, walking up down the stairs is not fatiguing me. Like before, I could just walk up the stairs. Although late last night, I was starting to get fatigued. And like I've been sick though, so that makes sense. It'll be interesting to see in the next week or two how that goes. But um walking up the stairs, I'm not stepping funny. I noticed, oh, also something else I'm noticing is I was really hunching over. And I kept thinking, I go to the chiropractor, my back, I'm just starting to hunch over like an old lady. And I'm noticing that when I'm doing this, I'm starting to straighten up. So my muscles are getting stronger. It's got to be that because my muscles are pulling my shoulders back and everything. I'm sitting up straighter without trying, which is interesting. Huh. You should go watch the interview he did with. Oh, okay. Everyone needs to see her healing prayer up our journey. So I put it on. So which one are you, Amy? What I'm trying to think which one you were. I only played part of it. Kerry does good interviews. He's a natural at it. He's very good at it. He's quiet. He asks the basic questions, and once he gets an idea, he'll ask, but he doesn't interrupt. He's really good. He's very good at interviewing. Amy. Okay, Amy. Gotcha. I'm trying to think which one you are. What do you look like? Amy. I've been watching so many. I'm trying to think. I watched the panel um, that I've seen several panels that Kelly did with multiple people in the room. They had great stories. I'll look it up. I'll look up. I might not have seen the whole thing. I usually play the whole thing when I do things like that. But yeah, it's I do want to do Fridays as a health day for people because so many people are hurting. Yeah, let me think. Trying to think what else. Anything negative that I'm looking forward to getting rid of. Well, see, besides, my hair. I got COVID twice. The first time I got it, if anybody listens to me on my show, I got it. The first time I got it, I was taking massive amounts of vitamin D. Oh, that's where I was going with something. That's one of the things I've got residual that I'm not getting rid of yet, which I'm looking forward to. Hopefully it works. Is that I got psoriasis. Would have been before my mom died. It would have been 2017, 2016 is when I got it because she was gone for the year before she died. So it had to be 2016. She died in 18. And I told you guys about that red strip down my side. It would come and go and come and go. And then it disappeared and it was gone for a long time. And then it came back. And then I started noticing I was getting these little areas on my arm that were like it looked like hives. And I'd go take a shower and come out, and the hives had turned into a red patch. And one little red patch turned into a bigger red patch and a bigger until I had psoriasis all over my body. And the only place I didn't have it was right here. And I go on air and people could see it, but it was starting to close in on my face to where my whole body was covered in it. And I thought, man, I wasn't sure what it was. I thought it was hives. Then I thought, well, maybe it's shingles. I looked up shingles. No, because that's only on one side of the body. I was kind of leaning towards psoriasis. I wasn't sure. And I looked up psoriasis, and what I found was it said doctors don't know what causes psoriasis. But there is no cure. And I thought that's the dumbest thing I ever heard. If you don't know what causes it, how do you know there's no cure? But they said vitamin D lotion tends to help. Okay, so there are vitamin D issues. So I looked up psoriasis and vitamin D. And sure enough, I found a doctor in Brazil who did psoriasis testing, or not testing, but well, she was kind of testing. She was experimenting with vitamin D, high dose vitamin D. And over 6 months, she had before and after pictures. And people that had psoriasis in 6 months, it was almost completely gone, nothing left. And I thought, well, there you go. And she wouldn't, it was a very low calcium diet. She wouldn't let them have any dairy and that was smart. She probably, I don't know if she knew about K2 at the time or didn't, but K2 takes the calcium from dairy and calcium in your body and other, so what do you call it? Not hormones, takes other minerals out of your places where they're not supposed to be and puts them where they're supposed to go in your bones and your teeth. People that get arthritis and cavities, bone spurs, you don't have enough K2 and your body doesn't know what to do with your calcium and your minerals, so it just starts shoving it everywhere. I had it coming out of my eye. I had it coming out of my tongue, wherever there was a delivery of moisture, blood or saliva, and you start getting your clogged arteries. But anyway, if you take enough K2, it removes that stuff and puts it where it's supposed to go. So she didn't let them have calcium because calcium would have possibly caused problems with her. It would have been problems with her experiment. So these people lost their psoriasis. So I thought, okay, so I started taking the amount that she was using, and I didn't notice that it was helping. 3 months in, it stopped it, but it wasn't going away. Stopped it from going over my whole face. So 6 months into it, I noticed it was finally starting to go away a little bit. So I thought, well, I think I need more. So I bumped it up to 50,000 units a day. That was 4 or 5 years ago. That finally made it start ebbing away. I just needed more. I've always needed more of everything because I think it's my thyroid, my suppressed thyroid function, and the adrenal distress. All that stress made me need more. And it's stress caused. Psoriasis is caused by stress. When you have stress, you drop your vitamin D levels. I got to where I couldn't even go in the sun. For some reason, my body, and Dr. Berg talks about this. If I go in the sun, I would pass out. And it wasn't from heat. It was the sun on my skin would make me pass out. I wasn't converting the sun's D into a usable form in my body. I think I was overdosing on it or I don't know what was happening. Something was happening. I was passing out. So once I started taking D3, I can take heat. Oh, that's something else with keto that I can look forward to also with the carnivore. Having hypothyroidism, severe, I had severe hypothyroidism. I could take heat and I can take cold much better than I could before. If I ate a piece of cake or whatever, went off the diet, immediately I'd start getting cold. I'd literally start, my body temperature would drop because of the stress it was putting on my body. Immediately I'd go into hypothyroidism. I'd have a crisis. So anyway, I can take heat much better. I can take cold much better. Like right now, I'd be wearing probably a tank top and a t-shirt under this, and it is 77 in my house. I'd be wearing a tank top and a t-shirt in this and a sweatshirt because I'd be freezing cold. So, and I couldn't take the heat in the summer. Uh, it would go from one extreme to the other. It'd be really bad. I just feel so miserable. Uh, yeah, Friday's health days. And that might be the day I decide to do this every day. I want to keep it like around an hour, maybe an hour and a half, something like that. Because if it's too long, people aren't going to watch it. And this is more to help people and to help myself, I guess, but to log down what differences. I'll be able to just look at my picture and know how much different I am. I won't even have to watch the video to know it's, let's see. You remember that? Yeah, it was bad. Um, Instead of a banana, take magnesium. You need magnesium. Yeah, Charlie horses. It's natural calm. Heidi can tell you about that. It helps you sleep, but it's also if you start getting muscle cramps, it's usually because you don't have enough magnesium. And natural calm's an easy way to take it. They have it at Walmart. It's a powder you mix it into your drink at night or into water, hot or cold. My dad used to drink it hot. Most people drink it cold and let it fizz out and then drink it because it fizzes up and that will help. Let's see. Yeah, potassium and magnesium and sodium. Yes, and on this you do drink. Like yesterday, I was getting a headache, so it might be because I'm not having enough sodium. So I took some pink salt. Uh, I think it was around a teaspoon of pink salt, mixed in a cup of hot water. Because you know those little cubes, bouillon cubes. I used to like those. I'd take a chicken bouillon cube and mix it in hot water and drink it. And when I was a kid, and when I drink the hot water with the salt in it, it kind of reminds me of that. So I don't mind drinking the hot salt water. And I felt better really quickly. And I also did that when I was sick and I noticed it helped my throat. I used to gargle with salt water to clear up a sore throat. So yeah, natural calm. It's good stuff. You can also take magnesium glycinate. As a matter of fact, on my site, I'm going to start selling electrolytes. I took I think it was Courtney Luna. She figured out the amounts, and instead of the magnesium that it's the same thing as Element has, the drink, except it doesn't have all the other crap in it. It's just sodium chloride, which is salt, potassium chloride, and magnesium. Instead of magnesium, what did she use? Malate. She used magnesium malate. I'm going to make magnesium glycinate because it's more easily absorbable and it's good for the heart and other things. So I'll be making my own electrolytes and selling those on my site. Some people don't have time. She said if you make it yourself, you can save a lot of money. And I agree. You can buy it in bulk. I learned to buy things in bulk. So yeah. So let's see. What have I been having? I was getting to it. Yeah, on carnivore, you do need to make sure that you get your electrolytes in. You'll be drinking a lot more water. And you'll be peeing a lot more too. Most people do, not everybody. Most people pee a lot. I do, and it might be until you normalize your electrolytes in your system. But I was getting up. I didn't drink much water yesterday, so I didn't even get up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom, which I haven't done for a long time till I got on carnivore. I was getting up at least once a night to go to the bathroom. But let's see, you don't need like I noticed Kerry said he had congestive heart failure was one of his symptoms until he got on carnivore. Well, beef has B1 in it, and congestive heart failure is caused by very low levels of vitamin B1 and drugs. Some drugs will do it. See, check into posture orthopedic tachycardia syndrome. Huh. I'll have to do that. I gotta copy that and check it out. Okay. Yeah, so excuse me. I think if you're doing carnivore, there are very few diseases, if you're not on any drugs, that are going to mess with you. I think it'd be very hard for cancer to grow unless you have contact with someone that's been taking things that cause cancer, because cancer feeds on sugar. And if your stress levels drop, like mine have already dropped, like they did on keto, but on carnivore too, if your stress levels drop, your vitamin levels stay up where they're supposed to be, and eating meat has a lot of nutrients in it. You do that, your body will be healthy enough that it should be able to fight off any invading cancer. And staying out of the hospital is the biggest thing. After watching Mimi, my gosh, the malpractice suits that she could have against those crazy doctors. My gosh, if you guys, I might play her video Friday. I've been thinking about it because a lot of people, I've been telling people for years to watch out for doctors. And then who was it we were listening to? Oh my gosh, who was it? Oh, the guy on the surgeon on Tucker talking about how bad the medical practice, how bad the medical system is in the United States right now. It is horrific. Horrific. The doctors don't know crap about anything. I've heard people say don't go to any doctors under 40 years old. I'd bump that up to 50. And even then, at 50, you have a 50-50 chance of getting one that's an alcoholic or a drug addict and taking drugs or alcohol at work. Dr. Wallop 40 years ago said that was a statistic. Half of all doctors show up to work either drugged or drunk. Remember hearing about people that had the wrong leg amputated and all that stuff? That was years ago. Oh, thanks for doing that, Jill. Yeah, I want to watch that. I haven't watched it yet. When's he supposed to be done with that? You know? He's got a link on his websites. And when he does Carrie does a video, he's got the link at the top of his page. Next year? Yeah, good. Good. Uh-oh, Crafty Fox said PSB is off air. At least on Vaughn Live. He's gonna do 4 more. Is he doing the editing on it? Hey, ask him if you talk to him, ask him where he got his white microphone. I like that thing. It's very nice. I got a blue one. I got a blue Yeti. I want a white microphone. I guess I could spray paint it. A can of paint does a world of wonders, I'll tell you. Yeah, so anyway, I'm going to try and do this at least once a week. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I'm going to do this at least once a week, hopefully help people out and be able to learn enough on the way that I can help answer questions if people have them, help other people that might be interested. Because Nancy AO is talking, she's supposed to start tomorrow on carnivore. I hope she's done enough research. Patty J, she keeps coming into Bible study in the morning and shooting off as fast as she can before I can talk to her. And I have a hunch just because she doesn't want me to ask her if she started her carnivore yet, because she was supposed to start a week and a half ago. She said she was going to start on Thursday when my sister left her house, but pretty sure she hasn't started yet. I think she's kind of afraid to. It's kind of, yeah, I get that. I get that. It's a commitment. You got to commit to it. She said she's got all the food she needs. Hopefully she does. But yeah, it's we'll see. I'm the guinea pig. Jill's maybe next time try to think how we can do this. I got to get my OBS set up. I've got to get it set up so I can have people on with me. So I can do interviews like with Jill, that people want to talk about it. Boomy. Yeah, if she does it, I'll be surprised. She likes her mashed potatoes. And that's the thing. You have to decide, is it more, because you know what? I don't know if you guys even know who Patty is, but she's a very nice lady. And especially for the last 2 months, every single week, either she or her husband are in the hospital or going to the doctors for this and that. She's got a swelled up ankle. She's got a hurt elbow. Her shoulder hurts. I mean, there's constantly health things going on with her. And her husband, he's been doing the same thing kind of. And she's on medications. She's getting an awful lot of them, which is a big help. Uh, but I think she's getting to, before she'd say she'd do it, but like first of the year she was going to do it. And it's what, May now? So it takes some, it's a commitment. And hopefully she's one of those people who will stick with things. It's not, it's the solution is simple, but it's not easy when you first start out. But that's the same with anything. Yeah. Well, I guess I'm winding down. Haas's stretching out. What time is it? Almost 5 o'clock already. How long have I been shooting my mouth off? Ew, an hour, almost an hour and a half. Well, it's not as long as I thought. Excuse me, but I'd like to have Jill on with me so she could, because she's done it for 18 months now. Jill has. I'd like to have her come on and talk about it, about what she did and how she did it and how she got started and before and after pictures. Her before and after pictures are impressive. I've got to tell you. And you see, that's things like that are like the carrot under my nose. It was like that with Mimi. She showed the before picture when she was sick in her bed from all the drugs she'd been on and the problems she'd been having. And then she shows a picture of her after in a sundress and beautiful figure. This is amazing. Awesome. Yes. Awesome. She got, come on. Woo-hoo. I gotta get my OBS fixed. I've got to figure out, make sure that I can do it, because just like with this stupid thing with YouTube, just a simple thing. It wouldn't even hook up to my mic. I don't know why it was said it was hooked up, but it wouldn't work. So I just have little things like that you got to iron out. But I think your story would be pretty impressive. And as we go along, Nancy should get Nancy to come on, do a before and after too. That'd be good. If hubby passed in February. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. That might be why he passed away, Free Spirit. I don't know anything about it, but a lot of people, it's what they're eating that's killing them. I talked to a guy, I've known him for a long time. He lives in just north of Joplin, Missouri. And I was telling him about keto years ago. And he says, oh, I could never do it. And I said, why not? And he says, I can't stop eating bread. I love bread and I can't stop eating it. I said, well, you can, you just won't. At least be honest with yourself. You could if you wanted to, you just don't want to. He goes, oh, he admitted it. I said, even if it kills you, he goes, I'll eat it till the day I die. Well, that might be sooner than you want, but and that's how people are though. They make a decision, a conscious decision. Do they like, and a lot of people don't realize there's addictive properties to the food they eat. They purposely put addictive things into it to make you eat it. So you eat more than you should. And you crave it. It's pretty dirty. It's like a drug addict. And people are addicted to carbs and sugar. They've created them to be that way. It's very sad. Oh, that's how your mom is. Yeah. Most people, I mean, most people are like that. They don't want to quit. They just don't. Hmm. He ate himself to death with crap food. That's so sad, Free Spirit. When he didn't have to do that. But some people, until they have a health crisis, sometimes if they want to live, they'll change their mind. If they think they can live a better life. But I expect, I don't know how long it's going to take, but I do expect, especially where I've been on keto as long as I have, my body knows what it needs to do. And so I've got like table muscle here. And it's not really table muscle. I didn't eat that much. It's just that what I did eat made me blow up. I'm reactive to it. The poisons. What happens when you break a finger or a foot, or what happens when you break a bone? When you think about it, what happens? You swell up there. So you get a lot of water weight, and your body puts that water weight around it. Your body's really smart. Dr. Bergman said this one time. I thought, he's right. So your body is smart. It knows what it's doing. So when you get something like that, if you're starting to puff out like this lymphedema, I believe is a protective mechanism. Not everybody gets it, but it's women, almost always women. So it's hormonal. You have to think about that. Why is it only women? It's hormonal. Not only very few men get it, but men nowadays have a lot of estrogen. So, but you swell up where there's an injury, and if your body is injured from poison, you're going to swell up. It's common sense. So I noticed that when I slammed my thumb in a car door, my whole thumb swelled up, and so did my hand. because it was an injured spot and the body's trying to protect it from more damage. So Sara Lee Whitebread. Yeah. Well, and he's not a happy guy. Give him some of that yogurt. I think that would help his attitude a lot. You need to make that. It's probably too late for me to return that thing by now, but uh, you need to make that yogurt and try it out. Make the yogurt, young man. Yeah, something that I talked to Jill a little bit about, but Dr. Davis has done research on gut bacteria. So when you do carnivore, it's not just what you're eating. You need to make sure your body is in good shape, it's working properly so it can process the vitamins and nutrients in the food you eat. L. reuteri is an intestinal bacteria that people get from nursing. Animals have it. They get it from nursing with their mom. I wasn't nursed. I was allergic to milk when I was a baby, so I had other things, beer. My mom and dad gave me beer, um, but I didn't drink milk, so I didn't get the L. reuteri. L. gasseri is another. Their intestinal flora, and Roundup kills all that. When I was getting uh, yeah, Roundup kills good bacteria and not the bad ones. Tell me that's not planned. So anyway, I started taking the L. reuteri and taking a quarter cup a day. I've freeze dried it, and I'm going to maybe sell it. I might have to get a license, some kind of a probably food handling license, which is a good idea anyway. I took a thing a long time ago, but I don't have it anymore. To sell it, I freeze dry it. I make it freeze dry. It's a long process. It takes forever. It takes 36 hours just to make the yogurt, and that only makes uh what just over a quart of yogurt at a time. Takes 2 days. And then to freeze dry it takes another 2 days. So it takes quite a while and a little bit of energy to make it. So it'll probably be expensive, but I can ship it that way. And you just take it and you mix a little bit in water, and you only need like a quarter cup a day of this stuff. And some people need it for a couple 2-4 weeks, and then they can do it once a week or once every 2 weeks because they got to get it built back up in their system. But I did make some, and I've got it bagged up, and it was 21 ounces, and it freeze dries down to 4.5 ounces. And you just figure out what the math is on that. If you want a quarter cup, I'd just make half of it at a time. Just make a half and then put it in the fridge. It'll last quite, but you'd have to put it in the fridge overnight and then mix it. You can't use a blender with it because they think it may kill the bacteria strains. So they said to mix it really good. We can use a egg beater on low, or a swisher. What do you call those little whisk things? But to get it back into its yogurt form, and then take that once a day, about a quarter of a cup. I split mine up morning and night sometimes. He eats a loaf a week. That's not much when you think about it. That's what, 6 sandwiches, probably a sandwich a day, or toast. Most people have 2 pieces of toast when they have breakfast. I could see somebody devouring that. But yeah, so this L. reuteri stuff, it does a lot of things. I noticed when I took it, I felt really good after I took it, so I knew I needed it. And if you've ever been on antibiotics, or had oral surgery, or had any kind of oral antibiotics, which most people get when they get teeth work done, if you've ever had a lot of stress, that kills all that. So you need to replenish it. And so I've been making this stuff, and I'd like to be able to sell it because people need to replenish with cancer is a metabolic disease. I've been hearing that. I believe that. And I also believe it could, in some cases, could be a parasite, because a lot of people say that it's parasitic. And I know some must be, because if ivermectin cures, or I shouldn't say cure, don't want YouTube to freak out. If ivermectin helps eradicate cancer cells, which it apparently does in a lot of people and animals, ivermectin isn't anti-parasitic. It gets rid of brain parasites, lung parasites, stomach parasites, and that's where a lot of the stuff from the COVID thing came from. See, I gotta pull that one thing up, make sure I don't lose it. Paste. Condition characterized by abnormal increase in heart rate upon standing. Okay, postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome. Do you know what that is? Do you know why doctors don't know what it is? It's not a syndrome. Doctors, what did I tell you guys? Doctors aren't taught anything about adrenals anymore, completely cut out. Yet they cause 90% of the thyroid, or more than that. 90% of the people in the United States have hypothyroid problems. Adrenal. When you stand up and you get lightheaded, or if your eyes are sensitive to light, but that tachycardia syndrome, that is a classic adrenal weakness syndrome. That's how they could tell if you had low adrenals. He uses, oh, he does. He uses ivermectin. Good. They're trying to make it over the counter. And I think it's going to go there because people are getting kind of ticked off. Okay. There we go. Thomas Seyfried. I've been reading about him. Cancer is a metabolic disease. Well, yeah, you think about it. If your metabolism is low, like mine has been all my life, from stress, literally stress. When 40 years ago, when I first started looking into hypothyroidism, it was estimated that 50 to 60% of Americans had hypothyroidism, undiagnosed. Well, when they started using blood tests don't tell you if you're, like I said, if your thyroid hormones are getting into the cell. And if you are under a lot of stress, it only lets a little bit of thyroid hormone in, just enough so that you can survive. That's your adrenals. Your adrenals, remember this flight or fight? That's your adrenals. That's what runs that. If you're a stress monkey, your adrenals eventually wear out. You start getting autoimmune system problems, which I've had tons of them. So many that I had the last doc. He wasn't a doctor. He was a naturopath, and I'd been to several of them over the years. And this was probably 20 years ago. Last doctor I went to, I talked to him about what was going on. I thought maybe he's new out of school. He might know some new things. He was a smart guy, but I told him what I've been doing. I said, I know it's my adrenals. I said, there's no doubt it's my adrenals. And he tested and all that stuff. Yeah, it's your adrenals. And I told him what I'd been doing. And he looked at me and he says, he says, everything you've done is exactly what I would have done for you. He says, I don't know how to help you. He says, if you go out there, if you find the answer, let me know. And I need to get a hold of him because I'm pretty sure it's what we're eating. Just like I've been saying for years, is what you're putting in your mouth. So your adrenals, okay, back 40 years ago, 50 to 60% of Americans were subclinical hypothyroid. And you got thinking about that. Well, yeah, that makes sense because there's a certain amount of stress out there. And the latest data I saw on it was probably 4 years ago, 5 years ago, and it said 90%, almost been 4 years ago, this was after COVID. 90% of Americans are hypothyroid, and the majority don't even know it. And the doctors don't know it. If you think about it, if you're under a lot of stress, what did COVID do? It put everybody under massive stress, right? Excuse me, the lockdowns, the shots, the crazy Karens. It's all, you think about it. So people, and you need to feed your adrenals. Ashwagandha is a big help for adrenals, which I need to start taking again. Even though this diet or this method of eating, I don't like calling it a diet, it's more of a way of eating. It helps with that, but if I can push it faster and get things going better, I will. So you got vitamin D3, K2, you always take those together. Do not ever take those apart. The D3 helps with the calcium and the other yeah, be careful. I mean, you have to go look at, don't take my word for it, because there's people, if you're on some kind of drug, like a blood thinner or something, go look it up. Some people, vitamin K, I don't say K2, they just need to be more careful with. They can take it, they have to be more careful with it, from what I've been reading. Some people are told, oh, you can't take any K2. Their doctors don't understand. You go look at the research and it says just have to be careful with it. So K2, D3, the D3 helps with the free flow of the uh, minerals, like like uh, like calcium. But without the K2, it doesn't know where to. Your body will just stuck it anywhere. They'll stick it in all kinds of bad places. So with the K2 says, "Oh no, you got to go in the bones. You got to go in the teeth." People have actually reversed their osteoporosis just by taking K2. One of them got a hold of me 2 or 3 years ago and said, "Thank God you told me." Says I had severe osteoporosis. My doctor was in his wits end, and she says, "I heard your show talking about the K2," and she says, "I started taking it." And it was a year later. She goes, "A year ago, I had osteoporosis." She goes, "Now I don't." My doctor's freaked out. So it makes a big difference. But yeah, ivermectin is safe. It's one of the safest drugs that's ever been made. It's been around for 66 years, 67 years now. And it's super, super safe according to statistics. And I took it when I took the horse paste. I took that just to see what it would do. Because I figured, I ran around barefoot all my life when I was a kid, and I'm sure I've got parasites. I've had cats and been around animals, but I didn't notice any difference after I took it. It didn't kill me either. I just mixed it in with some yogurt or something and ate it. I didn't get the flavored stuff. It's kind of like it looks like Vaseline, kind of like the texture and of Vaseline, but I didn't taste it. But I took that, and I got some pills from. Got more than I thought I did. I found a bunch of them in my drawer the other day. I was like, oh, I guess I got a lot more than I thought I did. I bought some from India. Most India stuff is safe, but they do confiscate it at times. Ask Jill about that. They will confiscate some orders from India. They get a wild hair up their butt. Yes, MK7 works better. MK4 will work, but the MK7 costs more, but it's a lot more effective for the K2. Yeah. Yeah. It's from Natto, I think. Fermented, some slimy fermented beans from Japan. Natto. That just looks gross. I see people eating that with their chopsticks as like big old boogers hanging off of it. That's so gross. Uh, but yeah, K2 MK7 is the best K2 to take. And you'll find a lot of places like you can buy the combination. And I always check if it's a combination, if it's got the MK7 or not, or MK4. But you get a combination of D3 and K2, which if you take a lot of vitamins, it's nice to be able to at least get two in one. So you don't have, that's one less pill you have to swallow down. Oh, really? Jill K says, I did. No more osteoporosis. That was me. Wow. Awesome. 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 Yeah. And you take all that stuff, it's one less thing you have to worry about getting sick with. Yeah. And the cavities, if your body's pulling calcium out of your teeth and minerals out of your teeth, you get cavities, right? Your teeth aren't strong. Excuse me. And you take the K2, it'll keep you from getting cavities. You take the combo? Yeah, Marcia, you do. I think you take the same stuff I do. Yeah, I take the combo always. And if I don't, like, I've got some leftovers when I found the combo, I take micronutrient brand. I'm still taking 50,000 units of D3 a day, and I've been doing that for like 5 years. That's what I was going to tell you. Most of my um, skin problems are gone. I did have some on my lower shins. It was really weird. I didn't know what it was. I don't know if it's still there or not. It was last week. I had some weird patches. One of them looked like somebody had bit me. Nope, they're gone. A little bit on the up towards my knee. It's like really weird looking, uh, like red area, like something is like a kid bit my leg. Uh, but it's kind of red and it's a little bit rough. It might be psoriasis, just might be a different form of it. But it's starting to go away. I had a big patch like that, and I had another smaller ones on the other leg. But that's starting to go away with the. Let me see if that one's still there. Going away with the carnivore, and it looks like my spider veins are getting lighter. I had massive amounts. I've had them taken out twice in my early 20s. I had them so bad and went to a doctor. He said, oh, well, he says, that's from having babies. And I said, I've never had a baby. And he just kind of looked at me shocked because they were so bad. I had spider veins all, and I had them taken out with saline injections. Holy cow, did that ever hurt? Did that down in California, and I had to wrap my legs and keep my feet elevated, and they were back within a year. Not been up to dentist for several years. Finally went a couple months ago. They told me whatever I was doing to my teeth to keep doing it. I told them I was no fluoride and taking K2 and D3. Awesome. Yeah, I don't do fluoride at all. I've never done fluoride. My mom taught us about that years ago. Yep, yep. Let's see what kind you got. Yeah, I take the micronutrients I get the micronutrients from Amazon. Unfortunately, oh, I've seen those on there. Let's see. 5,000 I use. Oh, I take 10 times that. You know what? Honestly, in my opinion, I'm not a doctor. I would take a minimum of 20,000 a day just as maintenance. It's almost impossible to overdose on that stuff. Plant-based. Yeah, yeah, yeah. 21. Cool. Yeah, I wonder if they have, let me see if they got higher. 5,000. Let me find my, one thing I don't like about this is I can't share my screen. So I need to get my OBS going. I'm gonna have to work on that. I got some things I have to do tomorrow. Hopefully you guys pray for me. Pray that the part that I bought for the lawnmower, which is the ignition, pray that that is the problem, that it's not letting my lawnmower run so I can mow my lawn. My neighbors hate me. I've got like a dandelion ranch here. Let's see. I want to get, I'll put the link out in chat. I'll pull it up. E3, K2. Okay, this is mine. They have, I take one of these a day. You know, a lot of people take one a week. Doctors will tell you to take 50,000 units a week. They told my dad that. Take 50,000 units a week on Saturday. How come it's not letting me copy it? Come on, you. Um, Try it again. Close enough. Okay, I'll put that in the chat. There. Hopefully it's enough. Yeah, it went. Thank you, Jill. Appreciate it. But I think it's the ignition. Hopefully it is, so I can get my lawn mowed. That's kind of a stressing me out a little bit. You know what? I was going to borrow some goats. My sister's neighbor has goats, and the city's making them get rid of them. I told her they can bring them over here and they can milk them because they milk the goats. The lady, she uses it to supplement her family's food supply. And a couple of snotty people on the city council said in the planning commission, "Ew, what's next? Horses?" It's like the ghosts don't bother anybody. They're in a fenced yard. But oh boy, cops happened to see him back there and had a fit about it. It's like, geez, control freak much? So I said, just bring them over here. I said they need to put up a fence them in. So in an area where they can't get out, and maybe stake them out once in a while. They can go around the weed patches. Matter of fact, I might have them take them up to my other property. It's got some noxious weeds on it and have them chow down. But yeah, they can bring them over here. So I got like, well, not counting the buildings, probably 2 acres of lots of dandelions they can eat up. Yeah, so you can see this. Oh, something else I've had since I was a kid is this line across my neck. I remember in 7th grade, our class picture, I had this, you could see it, even with all the kids. You look at me and you see this big line across my neck. And that was the keto twins. Both the keto twins have this. And I think it's a thyroid thing because not everybody has that. That would be interesting to see if that goes away. You can even see it when I put my neck back. It's just a red line there. Um, and it's like, you can actually feel a dip where it's like a dip in the skin. Very strange. I want to see this. I noticed a lot of people that go on the carnivore that lose weight, their skin tightens up. So hopefully all this nastiness will back up again. Well, there's no power at all. There's like, I go to turn the key and the little digital display doesn't even come on. It's electric. It's got to be electric. I do need to clean out my fuel lines. I need to get a new, that's what I should order, is a fuel filter. Yes, and I looked underneath, I pulled the panel off, and the plug that goes into the ignition has about maybe quarter inch, 16th inch, a quarter inch. It's not pushed flush against the plug. The plug isn't pushed against the ignition module. And it has, I don't think it ever has been pushed up flush, but it just happened maybe to get far enough out or enough corrosion got in there. I got to get some anti-corrosion. What do you call that spray? Contact, electrical contact spray, and clean it out, and then use that new plug on there. The old one might be fine. Yeah, it has a fuse. I checked it. Fuse is good. Um, yeah, the fuse is good, but it's not getting power to the little clock, the little, but somebody that was here took and they jumped from the solenoid to the battery and it started up. That was last year though. This year is different because my mower quit working. Oh, get this, all these weird things happening. My car, I noticed that my tire inflation light came on, so I took it to Walmart and they tested the little modules in the wheels. Oh, they don't work anymore. It says 2 of the 4 are gone. He says usually they go out at the same time, so the other ones are going to go out too. He says it's $100 to replace them. I was like, great. So that failed, and then my truck, it won't start. I put the charger on the brand new battery. It won't charge, but the lights, headlights, and taillights come on. I think we figured out that's probably the. I think Teresa figured that out. It was the headlight switch, possibly, or it could be the turn signal switch, the light dimmer switch. Why not? It's only got 80,000 miles on it. My gosh. Coca-Cola? Same in your Honda, huh? Weird. Well, I'm gonna get some of that contact cleaner, and I'm gonna plug in the ignition just to. Then I'll try to get it plugged in, but I couldn't push it in no matter how hard I push. So I don't know if it's corroded in there or not, but I'll find out. Yeah, just everything just failed all at once. It's like, are you kidding me? So I found somebody that I could borrow a trailer to put the lawnmower on, and I went to start my truck. My truck wouldn't start. So even if I got the trailer, I couldn't take it to get it repaired. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. You gotta be kidding me. Oh, I guess I just don't have enough stress. We need to be praying for multiple yes, and I need a new roof, apparently. The guy that fixed my roof made it worse. It's leaking worse than it was. So I know God's got a plan for the roof. And it's $80,000 to replace it. I don't have 80,000. I'm not going to put my house in hock to replace the roof because I don't want to owe money on things. Owing money to somebody, they can come take it away, and I'm not going to do that. Oh, well, Humi, yep, that's probably what's wrong with yours. Yeah, holy moly. Just it's expensive right now. And I think with once Trump, it maybe next year, metal will come down enough and things will come down enough. It's still gonna be more than I can afford, but at least it'll be there. Yeah, it's probably your sensors. The guy had a little machine at Walmart. He just held it to he didn't even push it on it. He just held it up to the wheel, where the air pressure thing was at. Just held it there, and it would tell him if it was working or not. And 2 of them were, and 2 of them weren't. And they just went out because I told him, I said, the last time I got my tires filled here, I said my tire pressure gauge wouldn't go out. And he's like, that's kind of weird. And he went and looked at them, and sure enough, they're burned out. It is a 2017 or 17 or 2007. So it's 18 years old. Yes, I could use a miracle. I'll tell you. What time is it? 5:36. Oh, I should probably get something to eat before, because I have to go on air at 7. We got to figure out what I'm going to put on. What do you guys want to watch tonight? Because I'll be filling in for the calf. She has a friend. I guess she's got some out of town company or something. I am getting hungry, actually. Yours is a 2014. Oh, you got a new car. Yeah, my truck is a 2004. It's 21 years old. But only 80,000 miles. It's practically new. Okay, yeah, AWK. I like AWK. And I haven't watched it for a few days, so. Oh, yours only has 21,000 miles? Yeah, your pressure sensors shouldn't have went out, although maybe they just, as they get older, maybe they do. Yep. Yep. So, Jill, are you still just having like a steak for breakfast? And what do you have for supper? Fish or something? I might make, I don't know. Something is good. Yeah, like I said, you can make your carnivore noodles. Thing about noodles is though, you're never going to get it exactly to taste like what you're used to. After a while, you get used to that. Just know that it's if you're going to make substitute things, although that flatbread was pretty good, um, for the most part, yeah, their gadgets are screwy. Um, but like I make um, Alfredo sauce is so easy. You can get a packet, I think 8 ounces of shredded Parmesan at Walmart for $2, 2.50. But I make Parmesan. I take Parmesan, cream. I do use sometimes I'll use a little garlic powder, just depends, which isn't technically carnivore, but I don't think it's. Yeah. It depends if I can stand it. So I get to where I don't like that stuff anyway. But lots of butter. Yes. Ground beef for breakfast and steak for dinner if you're hungry. Yeah, I eat I had two, like I said, I'm trying to boot up my calorie intake. Um, I'll finish my Alfredo thing. It's a cup of cream. I just pour the cream in and butter. I probably use a half a stick of butter, the cream, and then bring it to where it's starting to steam. And then I throw the Parmesan in and mix it all up. And then I throw in big shrimp or prawns. I put cod in last time. That was good. Just different seafood type things and throw it in there. And that's dinner and it'll fill you up. Oh my goodness, it'll fill you up. Yep, butter in your coffee. You can do that. 4 steaks for $21. That's expensive. You can go to Costco now, Humi. Just give them your phone number. You can get in. Um, and go get a chuck roast and chop it up. You can chop it up into steaks that are that thick, and they'll be probably that. You just cut the length of the steak or the chuck roast, and you can get 2 weeks worth of meat off of that. Oh, milk. Yeah, I don't use milk because it's got all those carbs in it. It's got a lot of carbs. And trust me, if you use cream, Humi, you'll like it way better. It'll taste so much better. Yeah, butter's cheaper at Costco, way cheaper. Butter and cream is about $10 to $11 at Costco for a half gallon. The meat is really good. And it's probably cheaper down there actually, because you're closer to the feedlots. But anyway, yeah, the I think I'll make Alfredo for dinner. It's really fast. You can make it in about 5 minutes. And a lot of my stuff I have frozen. Like I get the round steak home, and I think they're going to cost you 40 to $50 for a top round. Is that? I can't remember what it is. It's not a steak. It's a chuck roast for a chuck roast, but it's got lots of fat. You want the marbled fat. You want that in your meat because that's where all the flavors at. Anyway, you chop it up, and you can chop it into strips or you can chop it up into cubes, however you want to make it. And then I just wrap it up and I buy their great big thing of saran wrap. My last one lasted me 17 years. And I buy in bulk and wrap everything in cellophane and put it in the freezer. 17 years my last one lasted. So I just replaced it what was it? Probably about 5 months ago. But I set that on the counter, I pull a strip out, cut it, lay it down, and I take a piece of meat, usually 2 or 3. Why am I so burpy today? I didn't drink that much pop. What did I eat? I must have swallowed a lot of air with my food. Anyway, you just put it in there and try to get all the air out of it and I put it in a bag, the plastic bag that I buy the meat in. Double bag your meat at Costco because it will leak. I don't know how, but it leaks through those bags. So I just put it in one of those bags and then put it in the freezer. And I usually write beef on it so I know what it is. If you have a stacked freezer, I put alphabetical beef, chicken, seafood's at the bottom, pork's in the middle. So it's all alphabetical. So I know right what shelf everything's on. You found a farm with great Angus meat, local butter, and heavy cream. Man, you hit the jackpot, girl. Waterless cookware. I'm not sure what that is. Instapot's fine, especially and you can cook chunk. You can make and also they have you're gonna find this is pretty cool. Well, Humi. At Costco, they have 4 sections of pork like a pork roast. There are 4 of them, and they're usually $1.99 a pound. And you can cut those up, those 4, put 3 of them in the freezer, throw 1 in your crock pot, season it up good, and then take it out when it's done with the crock pot or the, Instant Pot, then put it in a pan with hot butter or, lard and fry it so the outsides are all seared because that locks in all of that moisture that the crock or the, Instant Pot does. It's way better than doing it the other way around. Air fryer, yeah, I think he's got an air fryer. Oh, and yeah, it's a magic bullet. Awesome. Awesome. You're gonna take a nap? So anyway, there are a lot of things like that, and I'll put my Alfredo recipe in my cookbook. Super easy. But I do think you're gonna find that if you are addicted to sweets right now and you do carnivore, you're gonna be pleasantly surprised. I think it'll take people maybe a week to 2 weeks. I was already off the sugar, so it didn't really matter for me. But I think within a week to 2 weeks, literally, I'm not wanting any sweet. None. I don't want any sweet. Because I'm getting remember sweet cravings tend to be potassium, low potassium. Um, Quite often it's low potassium, but I'm getting it from the meat apparently. Oh, and I did buy a liver. It was about that big. I hate liver. It's the first time I've ever bought it. Actually, purposely bought a liver. Bleh. And I meant to eat some. I cut some up, a little end of it, and it was like, yeah, I can't eat it. Cannot. But I don't mind liverwurst. So I got a recipe for liverwurst, which did have onion in it. Uh, it did have onion in it. So I basically boiled up the onion for flavor with it. I did a little bit of onion in it. Um, and I made liverwurst. Trying to think. Oh, it had nutmeg and allspice, something else in it. But I made some. I haven't eaten it yet, but I did make some of that. That's much easier to choke down the liver if you don't like liver. And if you don't like pork, don't eat it. Yep, don't eat it. A lot of people don't like it. It's very rich. I can't eat that much pork. I like a pork steak. I do like pork steak because it caramelizes really well in a pan. It's the only pork I like is bacon and pork steak. Um, but they're big. They're usually big. Uh, yeah, if you don't like it, don't eat it. Except for liver. Liver's apparently good for you, so I'm forcing myself. But yeah, I think if you have sugar cravings, you'll find that those go away fairly quickly. I'm shocked. I think my 3rd day, I was absolutely floored that I was like, "Wow, if I could have a Twinkie right now, I wouldn't. It just doesn't sound good." And that's a good thing. So I think eventually it may hit me faster than other people, but I think eventually it will happen for you too, that if you're kind of addicted to cakes or cookies or pies or anything like that, and a lot of people are, eventually you're gonna be like, "Oh, no, no." Lamb, I won't eat lamb. For one, I like lambs, and I figure if I don't eat it, it's one less lamb that's gonna die. They're so cute, and I know in heaven we'll probably be eating lamb, and it's a thing, but it's just they're so cute. And it's like calf, like calf. I won't eat calf meat if it's a calf, just because they're such cute little things. I don't wanna and you can make bacon or sausage, Lumi. You can buy the porks as a matter of fact, I plan on doing that, taking my pork, roasts and cutting them up into whatever and running them through a food grater. I have a processor. Oh, Bill, my ex bought a KitchenAid and he loves it. He's using it all the time. He's got because he'll use that for this type of eating. But I'll make my own sausage. I don't trust Jimmy Dean. It's got genetically modified ingredients in it. But I'll make my own sage sausage. And as I like the patties better than I like the links anyway, so I'll just make my own sausage. You'd have to be starving to eat liver. I know it's horrible. And oh, Marsha likes liver and onions. My mom and dad loved it. Ugh. I told Bill, I said, "Yeah, I bought my liver for the first time." Everybody started laughing. He goes, "I just had liver and onions last night." I was like, "Oh, good for you." Whenever he made that, when I went to his mom's with him, they'd eat that and I'd eat chicken or something. I'd eat something else. Your sister has 2 KitchenAids, but she won't give you one. Make her eat some of that yogurt for a week, homie. You said she likes it. Start feeding her that yogurt. She'll get a better attitude. Well, my mom and dad, they would buy they'd buy a side of beef or a whole beef, and they'd be slapping chunks of liver on our plates that were as big as our dinner plate. and we couldn't leave the table till we ate it. We'd be there till long after it got dark, just sitting there because we couldn't choke it. We'd take a bite and yeah, it was horrible. Shelly always chopped hers up and fed it to the dog when they weren't looking. Yes, they put ground liver with hamburger, which is a good idea because liver does have good things in it. And I noticed, well, just eating a lot of meat and fat has curbed cravings. I don't get cravings or anything. So the liver will help with that too. He had liver and onions all the time as a child, once a week. Yeah, so my mom and dad tried that and it didn't work for us. It is a cheap. I couldn't believe it. That big liver that I bought was only $4.50, I think. It's a lot of meat for. I would just wish I liked it. Like I said, I can eat liverwurst. I can't eat a lot of it, but I can. I was thinking about taking some. I did buy some lunch meat, some beef lunch meat. And I thought about spreading some cream cheese on it and then putting some liverwurst on it and rolling it up. Maybe I'll have that for supper. I don't know if I'll like it, but it might be all right. Oh lordy, a pound of raw liver every week. Oh, it's good for them. Really good for them. I wouldn't eat it because I figured, it's a filter. It filters out all the impurities and toxins. So why would I eat something that does that? And then I had to come to the realization, well, technically, it's not going to hold those things in it. It's going to release them. But I am drinking about a tablespoon of lemon in hot water in the morning every morning. That's part of my routine now before I do anything else. And that's supposed to help with fatty liver and help clean up the liver. So that's part of my routine, which is not carnivore, but a lot of carnivores do it. It's like they have an exception. Yeah, I'm not, no, raw. Sounds like Humi. Ever been, I had a boyfriend one time. His mother was from Southern California, and she was crazy too, but she went through the windshield of a car, in a car wreck. Honeymoon night. Get this, they're on their honeymoon. It's back in the 50s, I think, or maybe early 60s when they had the big tuna boat cars. And they were driving down the highway, and some old man pulled out in front of them, and a horrible car wreck. He died. His mom and dad didn't, obviously, but she went through the windshield and apparently messed her up really bad. But she was one of the most. I saw her graduation picture. One of the most beautiful women I ever saw in my whole life. But boy, she wasn't after that wreck. But man, was she ever ornery, mean? Oh my gosh, she was a mean woman. Mean, mean. But she told me that her grandmother had to lock all the kids up in a closet because her grandfather would get a hold of them and molest them. So whenever all the kids came to the house, into the closet they went if grandpa was home. It's pretty gross. Oh, really? She whacked it with the saw. Yeah, the liver I had was really tough. I have a mallet, a meat mallet. I'm gonna make a recipe. I'm gonna do cutlets. What do you call it? Chicken fried steak. I'm gonna do some chicken fried steak with pork rinds. You just have to take the mallet and smash down the steak, so it tenderizes it, and then coat it in egg wash. And I always heavily season my pork pork rinds. But you take the pork rinds, I just put them in a food processor and make my own pork rinds, or my pork panko. Excuse me. They make a. Why am I? I must be hungry. They make a really. It makes a really good crunchy coating on things. I did that before. I mean, when I was on keto, excuse me, did that. I got to go eat something. I can't quit burping. Oh, that's cool, honey. Played with Dorsey. I like Dorsey's music. Oh, really? Big in the music industry, huh? Yeah, see, if you have a KitchenAid, you can get the meat grinding attachment. It's not that expensive, and it's even though it's plastic, I used mine and it worked really well. I was surprised because I do have a metal one, an antique metal one that works good, but the KitchenAid worked really well. And you can mix your own. Just run the pork roast through there a few times till it's good and mushy. Really, you get the hiccups when you need to eat. Thank you. Thank you for the prayers, by the way, too. I don't like asking for them because so many people need more than I do, and I just feel kind of weird about it, but I could use the prayers, actually. Thank you. So yeah, I'm gonna shut her down. It's been 2 hours and 9 minutes. Nobody's gonna watch this, but I had fun. I look forward to doing this again. You guys get a notification when I come on, so it makes a ding dong noise, I guess. So that's good. So if you want to join again, you're more than welcome. Thanks for all the thumbs up, guys. I appreciate it. So you were a band rat in your youth? There is not a musical bone in my body. I don't think any of us in my family have ever been musical. No, my grandma was. She could play my grandpa. Hmm. The ones from the that came over from overseas. Oh, thank you, Heidi. Yeah, it was nice. It was fun. And it was fun talking to everybody. Thank you. I will. I will. I'll have a good show. We'll play AWK and maybe I don't know. I'll find something else. So anyway, you guys have a great evening. Enjoy your supper if you're going to have it, and I will talk to you guys in about an hour and a half, an hour and 15 minutes or so. So I shall see you later. Thanks for being here, everybody. Good. That was fun. I enjoyed it. I just wish more people could come in. I'll get the OBS going eventually. Yeah, well, hopefully sooner than later. Yes, blessings to all. I agree. Thank you, Free Spirit. Bye bye, everybody.